All right, guys, here we are with Matthew Truscott, keynote speaker at the Get Together conference and the founder of Project Resistance. Matt, how are you?
Good. How are you, buddy?
I'm good. I'm looking forward to meeting you at the Get Together conference and seeing all of that great content you're going to bring.
Man, it's unbelievable to me that we actually haven't met yet because I feel so close to you through all the social media stuff that we've done. It feels like I've known you for a while, but
yeah,
it's finally that FaceTime, right?
I'm having the same thing with Bobby Cappuccio and Derrick Price and all of the other GTC presenters. So Matt, let me just ask you some questions. What is Project Resistance all about? So that's your new company you will be presenting for at the Get Together conference. Can you talk about what it is and what you're going to bring at the conference?
Right. So Project Resistance is going to be a performance brand. Now, that's everything from somebody wanting to dunk a basketball or run faster in 100 meters to they have an ankle injury and they need to just work on walking.
Okay.
All right. So that's what it's going to be. It's going to be all aspects of performance. So the reason that we focus on that is because a lot of the fitness industry is focused on what we see in the mirror or functional training. But at the end of the day, people have goals and needs.
Yeah.
The goal is I want to dunk a basketball. The need is they might have a knee issue or a back issue. So how do we try to connect both of those together? And that's what we hope to strive for with Project Resistance.
So how do we have to see this? Is this kind of an education program you're going to offer?
Right. Think of it as there's plenty of models that are out there, but we will have certifications.
Okay.
So we will certainly have education. We will also provide programming and workouts to support trainers. But at the end of the day, my goal is not to make the trainer reliant on the company. What we're trying to do is help trainers think.
Yeah.
The biggest thing for me is that this is a fantastic industry to be in. It's daily changing lives. It's inspiring people. However, if you look at it in comparison to a variety of other careers, it's not necessarily respected the same. And that bothers me. Why is it that a dentist or a doctor are covered by insurance, but not the preventative medicine of a trainer?
Yeah.
And so what I want to do is I want to empower these trainers to be able to think for themselves. And I'm not the first one to do that. You know, PTA Global has done that. Institute of Motion has done that. There's a variety of companies that do that. But I want to do it based around performance.
Yeah. So I saw a lot of content you've been uploading, these little clips of you training with weights and stuff. You obviously do a lot of three-dimensional training. So can you elaborate on what the effect of three-dimensional training is and what effect it has on the human tissue?
Yeah, sure. So my life is constantly to be able to do whatever I want. And what I mean by that, Leander, is if you call me and say, Matt, let's go rock climbing, I want to be able to say, yeah, sure. I want to have the mobility and the strength to be able to put myself in different positions and crawl up that rock or wherever we are. So training in 3D is going to better prep the tissues and the connective tissues to be able to move in different directions. Why is it that our athletes are bigger, stronger, faster than ever before, but injuries remain as high, if not higher? When we look at these injuries that athletes sustain, it's oftentimes non-contact. They plant their foot in the ground, and as they go to change direction, something pops or tears. So I want to be able to take those movements and say, how can I strengthen that? Not just strengthen the quads and strengthen the glutes because glutes equal power in my whatever. What I want to do is, okay, great, yeah, that's great. You can get off and you can be very, very fast in your takeoff, right? That first explosion or jumping up for a basketball. But the problem is we're rarely ever going up. We squat going up, we clean going up, we snatch going up, but I don't go up if I go to tackle somebody in rugby. I don't go up when I change direction to try to beat out the defender when I'm playing football or soccer.
So what's the difference with like CrossFit?
CrossFit is a great brand. What they've done is they've created strength, they've created metabolic conditioning, they've done a lot, and they've done a fantastic job of creating a community. The thing where they kind of just missed a little bit, and maybe they will, who knows, maybe their programming is changing, but it's one line. Yeah. It's one line. I clean, I snatch, I squat, I deadlift, I pull up, I bench, and it's all linear.
It's very sagittal.
Yeah, very, very sagittal. And then when I talk to some of these guys, and it's so fantastic because they believe that they are functional training. And sure, Sure. If it's the function of the CrossFit Games or CrossFit, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
That's what they're training for now. They've changed their model. So for me, I say, well, where's your rotation? Well, what do you mean? And I was like, well, where's your rotation, the actual exercises? Oh, well, sometimes we'll jump over the bar, we'll rotate, and then do a burpee, and then we'll jump over the bar. So basically, Leander, what they're saying is, by jumping over the bar and then turning around before they do a burpee, that's their rotation training.
Yeah.
Apparently, that's going to be the same as picking up something and rotating and putting it on a shelf. That's the same, apparently.
Yeah.
So what I've done is I've tried to focus on that last bit, that rotation bit, that lateral bit. How can I take a snatch, barbell snatch, and make it a lateral snatch?
Yeah.
Because in baseball, it's very big in the U.S., I need to be able to turn from a lateral position to turn and go.
Yeah.
And steal second or be able to move to the ball. That's very big. That's basketball. That's a variety of different sports. So how can I make that better has been my focus. And the adaptations that we'll get is, stronger lines.
Yeah. So if a client comes into your office, into your studio, how do you do your assessment? Do you use tools like the functional movement screen, or do you have other tools in place to do that?
Fantastic. My functional movement screen is typically a Viper movement prep.
Okay.
And my functional movement screen is very, very detailed with questions. And what I mean by that is, it's actually quite annoying if you're the client. Because what I will ask is, how does this feel? Probably 50 times. What I'll do is I'll put them into a pattern and have them reach and say, all right, this is a bend pattern. How does that feel? I feel fine. Great. Can you reach a little bit further? Yes. Can you reach a little bit further? Yes. How does that feel? So what I'm doing is I'm continuously checking in.
Yeah.
Then, same bend, I will change the direction. Say, okay, can you sink that hip back and drive? And a lot of times, Xander, what I notice is they can't drive the hip in the opposite. So they'll just flex the spine. I say, okay, they're tight.
Yeah.
Or, mentally, they're not able to connect with the body.
Yeah.
So what I'll actually do is then grab the shirt and say, all right, I want you to pull the hips this way and move the shoulders that way. Can you do that? And then once they felt it, they can. Does that feel okay to you? Yeah, it feels fine. It actually feels like it's moving this over here. So I'll start with that, and it's all Viper tilts. I'll tilt in this direction, that direction. Then I'll just take the feet from this parallel to here. Do the same bend, same different directions. Then I'll go here, different directions. Then I'll go offset, different directions. And I'll start to see how they move with those. A lot of times what I'm finding is, again, spinal flexion or thoracic spine. It doesn't want to move. It's all locked down.
Yeah. But it's not like you're using an overhead squat assessment.
No.
Or a lunge.
No. What I do is I like to put them in different patterns, get them to move around a little bit, and then let them walk around. See how they feel. I do like to use an overhead squat assessment initially just to look at it, just to see where their shoulders are.
Yeah.
But it's not a focus for me.
Yeah.
It's truly not a focus for me because at the end of the day, I need to work with what's there in front of me.
Yeah.
And I've seen this before. Somebody will have their functional movement screen results. They will get better, and then on the day that they're testing, they might have had a bad day at work or, there's some sort of stress. They're not going to move as well. And then the functional movement screen is going to tell you they're not moving well.
It's like Derrick Price says, the exercise is the test and the test is the exercise, right?
Exactly right.
Yeah.
Exactly right. So I am constantly gauging my clientele every day. I'm going to see how they move when I'm doing their movement prep.
Yeah.
Every day, because I know where I want the hips to go. I know where I want the thoracic spine to move. I know those things.
So at what point do you go working local on some muscle or some joint?
In terms of for movement, for function, or are you speaking of?
Yeah, so say you see the hips don't move in the lateral plane.
Okay.
Is that a point at which you say, okay, I'm going to go local, like do some myofascial release therapy or something else?
Yes. Now, I didn't understand the question. Now I do. Yes, and I'm more of a release guy than I am a corrective exercise guy. Your corrective exercise guy is obviously going to be AC, Anthony Carey. You know, he's the man, and he's going to be there, right? He's going to be there.
He's going to be at the Get Together conference. That's right.
Yeah, he's going to be there, and you know what he can do through exercise is phenomenal. But I'm just not there. So what I would like to see, and for me, Leander, I got hurt a lot. So I played football, and I had a great talent for getting hurt. Let's just throw it out there. I got hurt a lot. So for me, if you can keep me healthy and you can keep me as pain-free as possible, that was the ticket. That was the best trainer to me. Yeah. So that's the way I try to approach things myself. And I say, oh, a hip's not moving. Okay, let me look at the hip itself. We'll go local first, and then we'll expand to what it connects to. Yeah. Okay, so if we're looking at that hip joint and it's not able to move for me, I'm going to start looking around. Yeah. But I'm going to start local first and then spread.
Expand, yeah.
So you have your bubble, and then if this is the hip or the glute, so to speak, and the hip's not moving, I'm going to start there, start to get them to roll or move, and then I'm going to expand the bubble, okay, a little bit further, and then I'll start looking at key points as to where this connects until I hit it, until I figure out what's going to get them to move.
Yeah. All right, man. I'm so happy to be able to talk to you like this. Thank you so much for answering my questions.
Yeah, of course. Really excited, Leander. Okay. Really excited for the GTC conference. You guys are doing a great job.
Thanks. And for everybody who's watching this, if you want more info about the GTC conference, go to www.gettogetherconference.com and buy your tickets to see Matthew Truscott in action.
Yeah, hurry up already. Hurry up.
For God's sake, hurry up, people.
Yeah.